helping out Morgan. If people have questions, feel free to throw it in the chat if for some reason you don't have a microphone and I can be your voice for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Are we seeing the presentation? Yes?
That's good. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so just a brief introduction to who I am so you know who you're working with for the month of July. I'm a PhD student in the Faculty of Kinesiology at U of C. I've done all my degrees at U of C in the faculty, so I've taken Kines 201 as a student in the recent years, 6 or 7 years ago. And then I've worked with Kines 201 in a few different formats. I taught it online during the pandemic, and I've worked as a teaching assistant with the dual credit high school program before when it's been offered in the winter semester, actually with Diana. So nice to have this dynamic team back together. And yeah, personally love physical activity. Running, skiing, biking, and climbing are my main favorite activities, but excited to try and do some different activities kind of beyond those on my list with all of you. I'll pass it on to Diana to introduce herself.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so as I said, I'm Diana Stewart, and I am the CBE representative for the course. What that means is if there are any concerns from the student side or from parents, then I would be your contact person. On the side of the course, if students are not showing up or there's issues with attendance, then I'm the one that will be contacting families to make sure that students are in attendance and to just see how things are going generally. So I've been a teacher with the CBE for 15 years now, or just over, and I've taught at Lester B. Pearson, at Robert Thirsk, and I'm now at Boness. I am the director for the high performance program at Boness, and I actually started this Kinesiology credit out of our school 5 years ago now, which is crazy. It's gone really, really fast, and got to work with Morgan as my TA, which was so awesome and so excited to work with her again. I have 2 kids and we love to be active, and my dog as well, and anything really that gets me moving. So I'm excited to be a part of what Morgan has planned for us. So anything related to CBE attendance, anything that we need to be aware of, please just contact me and you guys will have my contact information. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. So we'll get into just an overview of the course. So in Kines 201, we're learning about and participating in physical activity. So our course location will be in the Taylor Institute Studio A for the lecture component, and then we'll be all over campus, different locations depending on the day and the week for the lab, which will be communicated with students so you know where you're going, and we'll be moving as a group. So as long as you show up for Taylor Institute Studio A every day at 9 a.m., you'll be good to go, because we'll then kind of move to our other locations as a group from there. In terms of timeline, as I already mentioned, we'll start classes on July 4th, so 2 weeks from today. Quizzes will be July 13th, so the Thursday of week 2, and then the final day of class on Friday, July 28th, so it's 4 weeks. We'll have lecture and lab every day from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. No, that's a long time with 4 hours, so we will have some short breaks in there. And because it's got physical activity labs, it won't be sitting and staring at a screen for 4 hours. We're going to be very active and participatory. In terms of structure, each day the 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. will be broken into 3 parts. So we'll start with a little lecture in Studio A so we get that course content. And then we'll have the lab for the remainder of the course broken into 2 parts. So we'll have a little coaching lab for the second part where students will lead one another through activities, and more details on that will be provided in the course outline, as well as on D2L, which is our online learning space. And then after the coaching piece, we'll have our activity lab in various locations kind of across campus, depending on the activity. And I've just noted on the screen, we may have to adjust some of those depending on weather. If we're planning to play basketball on an outdoor court and it's pouring rain or it's a super smoky day, we may tweak and move inside, but that will all be communicated. First day of class on July 4th will just be an in-depth introduction to what we can expect from the course content. The course structure, even more so in depth than we're doing right now, as well as the coaching labs specifically. And as I stated, I will always share the activity with you ahead of time so you're able to prepare accordingly in terms of what you need to bring to class or what you can expect. What you need, again, I'll provide more specifics if there's something, but in general, you'll want a computer or notebook for taking your notes. I'll be posting lecture slides on our online course management, D2L, and we'll review D2L on the first day of class as well. You'll want to bring a writing utensil, pen or pencil for the quizzes. You'll want to bring some food and something to drink since we will be on campus and in class for 4 hours. We have some breaks if you want to eat, or I'm fine if you want to eat during class. It's all good. And then your choice if you come to lecture kind of dressed, ready to go in your clothes for the lab, or if you want to just pack that change of clothes, you'll need running shoes and, of course, bring a jacket because we know Calgary, even in July, can get some inclement weather. And as always, if we need anything else, I'll let you know. So the course outline will be posted on D2L. This is just a little screenshot kind of in front of us so you can see what it looks like. When it's posted online, that'll have an overview of what we've discussed tonight in terms of structure of the course, key dates, what's happening when, a rough outline of locations for some of the activities. It is the contract between the students and the instructor, so it's my expectations of you and what you can expect from me as well in terms of assessments, so quizzes and assignments and what grade value those are worth, things of that nature. And once it's finalized, things won't be changing. So for example, we have two 10% quizzes in there, barring some extenuating circumstance, that will not change, as an example. So assessment, I've kind of alluded to this a few times. We will have the 2 quizzes, a midterm kind of quiz on the first 2 weeks of content on July 13th, and then the final quiz on the last 2 weeks of content on July 28th. So they won't be cumulative. They'll each just be covering 2 weeks. We'll have these coaching labs that I mentioned. Each week you'll lead an activity in your group that will be worth 10% of your final grade. And again, we'll spend a good deal of time going over expectations of what that looks like on the first day of class. And then your activity labs, so that part 3 in our 3-part structure will be also 40% of your grade. So each lab of the classes we have over the 4 weeks, you'll get 1% for attendance, so showing up, and then 1% for really being engaged and participating. On the note of attendance, we'll just look on this next slide. You do need to show up. Diana mentioned attendance. We will be taking attendance for your grade, but also if you have unexcused absences, more than 3, you will receive an F grade in the course. So that's the emphasis, is unexcused. If something comes up ahead of time or you already have something that you know may impact your ability to attend a lab, reach out to me ahead of time, let me know. Ideally, it's more than 24 hours before. So if we have class 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., sending an email 8 a.m. that day saying, hey, I'm not coming, not ideal. If you get sick kind of the day of, things happen, we get it, but try to be as proactive as possible. Or if something super last minute came up and you missed the lab and didn't have a chance to email ahead of time, you need to email as quickly as possible after, please, so we know that. Otherwise, you're getting those unexcused. So just be open. We're happy to support, but we just need you to be kind of proactive and communicate. The other piece is if you have any injuries or illnesses that will impact your ability to participate in labs, please let me know as soon as possible so we can work together on finding alternatives for that. My email is on the slides coming up, and it will also be on D2L and on the course outline once those are posted. So in terms of to-dos in the next 2 weeks between now and class starting, as already mentioned, please email me about any injuries or illnesses or absences that will impact lab participation so we can figure out solutions for those. And I would recommend doing a practice run or a little tester of seeing how long it takes you to either drive or transit to campus, just so you know how long your commute will take. Try it at that time of day, since getting there for a 9 a.m. class will be in rush hour, so you might need to leave some extra time. Leave a little buffer to figure out where you're going to park if you're driving, or how long it takes to walk from the train or the bus, and make sure you can find Studio A. And there's my email on the screen. That's all I have for slides, so I'll stop presenting, and then, yeah, if people have any questions, we can do that. Oh, I see there's a dual credit registration assistance. Okay. Any questions from anyone?
Morgan, I'll just jump in really quickly, and just to let folks know, what I just put into the chat is, if you're having any difficulty registering for the dual credit, there are folks available at that link, the Teams link that I posted, that can help you with those questions right now. They're opening the room at 6:15. So if you are looking for some registration assistance, you can click on that and they'll help you out.
Perfect. Thanks, William. And just got a question in the chat about putting my email back up since I stopped the screen share, so thanks for that. I put my email in the chat. And also, yeah, zero pressure. If you don't have questions on the spot, for sure, you can take my email, reflect on the evening, and as you kind of start going through things, or once the course outline's posted, if you have questions once you've kind of seen things, that's totally cool. Reach out to me then as well by email. That's no problem.
I'll also just note that the CBE, so this information session has been recorded as well, and I know they will provide you guys with access to that. So please let us know if you came late to the meeting or if you happen to have missed anything, and I'll make sure that that link gets sent out to you as well.
Thanks. I see a question in the chat that asks, just to confirm, is the first day of class June 30th or July 1st? No, because those dates are on the long weekend. So the first day of class will be July 4th, which is a Tuesday. The first Tuesday after the long weekend. This course starts, yeah, after the long weekend, which is just a day or two later than the other dual credit.
And looks like you guys have got to the Q&A session of the evening already. That's great. I am gonna pause the recording at this point then, just so we don't have student voice images necessarily on the recording. So yeah, I will do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. To interrupt, Morgan,